And if you're new here, welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about positivity. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. So, positivity. I felt like it was so important to talk about positivity today. One, because it's my birthday week. So, when it's your birthday, you just kind of had this all natural glow thing going on, and it just illuminates the room. It just puts a smile on your face. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but for me, like when it's my birthday, I'd be like, okay, it's my birthday. And so I just think that being positive is one of those things that we all have to master. I know some people could feel like it's not that big of a deal. Why would you even want to be positive? What does it matter what you say or what you do? Listen, I even pulled up the proverb. I was like, I want to get this correct in this video. So Proverb 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So when you are speaking that negativity over yourself, you're believing it. Eventually you're thinking, okay, this is all I can do. All I am is blah. I can't be anything but this thing, because you limited your mind. You limited yourself to what it is that you're speaking over yourself. When you're saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, all you're thinking is the things that you can't do. How is it going to be possible for you to accomplish your goals, for you to succeed in life, for you to do all the things that you want to do if all you're doing is speaking negativity over yourself? I think it's it's about time for us to start thinking of ourselves in a positive way. The world is always going to try to tell you who they want you to be. They're always going to say that you're too big, too small, too tall, too short, too something. It's never going to be perfect for anybody. So why not be good enough for yourself? You being the best version of yourself is good enough. And I think it's important for us to realize our strengths. Like, do we need to acknowledge that we have weakness? Yes. Do we need to harp on it? No. We don't have time for that. That's just like, no, we don't have no time for that. So it's time for us to really start to acknowledge our best qualities. What is it that you like about yourself? Because don't just sit there and say, oh, there's nothing that I can think of that I like about myself. There's something that you like, regardless of what anybody says. Like maybe you like your eyes, but people say, oh, your eyes are so weird. If you like your eyes, like your eyes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just got to like it, because if ain't nobody else going to like it, if you like it, you all right. So it's really important for us to acknowledge our own strengths, for us to acknowledge the areas where we are successful, to take all the wins that we possibly can. You know how many times you're going to fail in life, regardless if you try or not? So why not acknowledge the wins that you have, so that you have something to keep you going, to keep pushing you and motivating you and propelling you forward? Because if you just only harp on the negative, all you're going to be doing is stagnating your growth. All you're going to be doing is thinking, oh, well, I'll never be able to do this. No, you can do it. You're the only thing standing in your way. There was a pastor in a sermon once who said something like, the adversary can't stop your gifts, or he can't stop the promise that God has for you. The thing that stops you is you. He can get in your mind. He is not omnipresent like God. So he can get in your mind, manipulate you, cause you to drift, allow you to really feel down on yourself, to allow cynicism to penetrate your mind, allow this perpetual cycle of hate or dislike or negative comments, negative connotations to just permeate your brain. And it'll allow you to become stuck. The next thing you know, you're not succeeding. Sorry, there's like a little gnat or something flying around. Really though? But it's all good. It's nothing but a distraction, like I was saying. So when you are on the journey, when you are accomplishing your dreams, the adversary will bring in those distractions. He will bring the things that will cause you to drift, because he knows he can't stop the promise that God put on your life. The only thing stopping you is you. You are the person that stands in your way, that starts to tell yourself you can't do things because of the little bug in your ear that's been planted. It's time for you to change your thought process. It's time for you to really start to think about all of the things that you are, all of the great things that you are, because nothing is worse than, in my mind, this is how I think about it. This is what keeps me going. I think about getting to the kingdom, right? I'm at the gates, guys, going through the list of things that I've done. And instead of it being like, well done, my good and faithful servant, hopefully I hear that as well, even though I've been messing up a lot. But one day I want to get to the point where I hear God say, well done, my good and faithful servant. And when he shows me the list of the things that he had for life, I don't ever want to miss out on anything that he had for me. I don't want him to say, "Oh, you were this close to getting $1 billion and being able to change the entire world, but because you gave up right here, right at the finish line, you were right, like the finish line was right around the corner, but because you didn't see it, you gave up. You got distracted. You stopped doing the things that I put on your heart for you to do." And because you did that, you missed out on all of, like, when you open up the scroll, and I know I'm making it real old, but, or a digital device, because he might have some like 4.0 device or something. I don't know, right? You're going to open up this long scroll in my mind. It's a scroll, and the scroll is going to be the list of all of the things, and I'm going to be able to picture everything, of all the things that God had set forth for me that I missed out on because I stopped myself from being able to accomplish those things. That's like my worst fear in my mind. That's the thing that really keeps me going. I'm like, I never want to get to the point where I make it to heaven and God's like, yeah, you lived a good life. You helped some people, but you could have changed the world. You could have been a billionaire. You could have used that money to help so many people throughout the entire world. You could have changed the way that relationships are from ever. Like, people in relationships, because of you, never settle for less than God's best for them. Because of you, people have healthy standards and boundaries. Because of you, they know it's possible to be in a kingdom, healthy, happy, joyful, peaceful relationship. Are you going to have real life issues? Yes, because you're a human being. Y'all not going to agree on everything. But the fact that people will be able to see me in you, it's going to be the thing that gives people hope. The hope that people have lost because they've gotten into this worldly dating thing. They've gotten into this is the best that it gets thing. They've gotten into this, I have to settle for this because I have 3 kids by him. I have to settle for this because we've been together 10 years. I have to settle for this, for whatever the blank, excuse is that you make up in your mind that makes you feel like you don't deserve better. I want him to say, you are the person, you and your husband, that net, oh my gosh. I'm not just doing this because I want to do hand motions. It's really like a little net flying around, just to let you know. But I don't want him to be like, yeah, you didn't change anything because you stood in your own way. I want people to see that they deserve so much better. I want them to know that they never, ever, ever, ever have to settle for less than God's best for them. There's nothing that you have done in the past that you can't repent for and ask God for forgiveness and get the things that you prayed for. Go to God, tell him what your heart desires, and he will give you what you need. Notice I said need and not want, because sometimes we feel like, oh, I want this guy that's 6'2". I want this guy that's making 6-7 figures. I want this guy that, and I'm not saying you might not end up with somebody like that for whatever reason, but you might need a man who actually sees your value. You might need a man who actually has compassion for you. You might actually need a man that makes you feel safe and seen. You might not need all of those other preferences. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's important for us to, one, be real with ourselves, and 2, to not give up on ourselves, to really speak life over ourselves, because we are the only person stopping us. We are the only person standing in our own way. We keep on, like, whenever I get on a traction, a upward trajectory, I start to really get moving and focused. There's something that comes in my life that distracts me. And it could be a person, place, or thing. It could be this shiny new thing, this thing, and it always looks so appeasing, appetizing. It always looks so good. It's not like the adversary's smart. He's not going to just bring you like Brussels sprouts, even though I like Brussels sprouts, and some people do, but a lot of people don't. He's not just going to bring you like some fly on poop trash and be like, here you go. Because a normal person would be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on that. But he's going to send you that thing. Imagine your favorite food. And it's like, it's got this shine on it, like Jesus when he was standing there in front of like some of the disciples, and his clothes were whiter than any person could ever wash them, right? That's how good that food gonna be looking. Or that thing that the adversary gonna dangle in front of you is gonna look that good. And you have to have the discipline. You have to have you have to have the gauze. Like, I mean, prayer sometimes, if you is because the flesh is weak, because you have free will, it's going to be your choice to make the right decision in these moments. And it's not going to be easy. I would love to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, every time a distraction comes, every time something comes into my life that slows me down, that gets me off course, that causes me not to be able to focus on my dreams, I just easily just move it aside and keep it moving. Like, there's a lot of people that talk on these platforms to say things like that. But when you're really tested, it's not easy like that. It's not just like, oh, no, I don't want this really handsome guy that's saying all the right things. Oh, what? Never. It don't work like that. Like, I don't know why we sit here and try to pretend like it's so easy to make the right decision, or it's so easy to say, oh no, let me go ahead and keep doing the right thing, or it's so easy for us to just move past all of the distractions, all of the tempting things that come our way, because it is not easy. You have to really understand your reason why you're not doing these things. You have to really it has to really be your decision. It can't just be, oh yeah, I know this is in the Bible, so I'm trying to do the right thing. It has to be, I know that this is in the Bible. I want to do the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing because I have these precautions in order, because I'm going to make sure that I'm not these places if I know this is tempting. I'm not going to be in this area if I know this tempts me. If I'm feeling in a gray area where I don't know if this is the right or wrong thing because my flesh is weak, then I need to make sure that I make better decisions in the future. And if you slip up, if you make the wrong decision, repent, keep it moving, and then do better the next time. You really have to keep going. You can't just harp on the things that you do wrong, because that's how the adversary will trap you. He'll start to put this perpetual guilt cycle in you and make you feel like, oh, well, I don't deserve any of the blessings God has because I messed up. I used to feel like that, but I know better now. It doesn't matter how many missteps I make. God will turn your hot messness into a book. Like, God is so good. His grace is so sufficient that it does not matter what you do in your life. It matters that you try to do better every single day. That's what matters. When you make a misstep, you tuck and roll and keep it moving. You get all the scratches and stuff. You understand those are battle scars, battle wounds, and you know next time how to prevent it from happening in the future. You have to keep it moving. Every time you stop, every time you get stagnant, every time you get distracted, you drift, that is room and a foothold for the adversary to take control of your life, because he wants you to get unfocused. He wants you to not feel like you can do the things that God says that you can do. He doesn't want you to get the blessings that God has for you. He doesn't want you to be successful in the areas that God has already opened doors for you, or closed doors so that he can open a better one. He might even open a window. He might put you in through the roof. Like, you don't know what he's going to do, but you know he's going to come through every single time, because that's how my God is set up. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that that really hit home, right, is, in the past, I would be with these guys. I would be in a relationship with some guy or something. I'd be like, how does he not realize that he's so amazing? I don't know why I made that voice, but but I'd be like, how does he not realize that he's so amazing? And I would think of all these awesome characteristic traits of this guy that I was dating or whatever. And I'd be like, he's so kind, or he's so, nice. He's so like good at this thing. And it's like, everybody could see what you're good at, but you, and I would just be like, he's so awesome at this. How does he not understand that he's gifted? Like, this is like literally a gift. This is not everybody can do this. Like, how is it that he doesn't understand that? How is it that he doesn't know that he can accomplish this? How is it that he doesn't believe in himself? And then I realized I did the same thing. It's so funny how we could see the weakness, or we could see the gifts in other people besides ourselves. We could see, how amazing other people are doing, congratulate them, tell them how amazing we think that they are, but we forget how amazing we are. We forget that we are a person, that we really can do all the things that we set our mind to. We're so busy boosting other people up sometimes we forget to boost ourselves up. We forget that we need that encouragement as well. We forget that the life and death lies in the power of the tongue. We have the ability to speak life over ourselves and to other people. It's not just for us to encourage everybody else and feel like crap with ourselves. It's for us to encourage ourselves and encourage others. We have to believe in ourselves like we want to believe in that man that ain't never going to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really got to get it together, and we got to start believing that we can achieve anything, because we are the only ones standing in our way. Get out of your own way. Why don't you see how amazing you are? Why don't you see how smart you are? Why don't you see how intelligent you are? Why don't you understand that loyalty and honesty doesn't come from everybody? You are like that. That is your gift. That is something that is amazing, an amazing characteristic that you hold. Don't you understand that you are loyal, that you are this amazing woman, amazing man? Why don't you understand that maturity doesn't come from everybody? Not everybody is wise like you are. How is it that you don't see that goodness in you or that greatness in you? But you see it in everybody else. When somebody else is doing good in something, you're so busy. You are so ready to congratulate and be so happy for them, which is great that you're happy for somebody else. But what about you? Do you know the gifts that God placed on the inside of you? Do you understand that you really are an amazing person? Do you know that your heart is so pure, that you are such a good person, that not everybody is like that? Do you know that you have an amazing talent that you are wasting because you don't believe in yourself? Do you know that every time that you stop pushing yourself forward, you are stunning your own growth? You are stopping yourself from receiving the blessings that God already has set aside for you. Don't you know how great you really are? Like, God knows every hair on your head. He didn't create you for no reason. He created you for a purpose. You have so much inside of you. Please don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. Really start believing in you. So that's all I have for tonight. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good, amazing, amazing Friday Eve. I know that's so corny, but still, have an amazing Friday Eve, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.